It's me, and I'm once again joined by Tim Davis of Nox Luna ownership fame. Yeah, so tonight we watched Latency. This was a really, indie underground movie. I don't even know how I became made aware of this. I think I found the trailer, on accident on YouTube at one point. And honestly, I completely fell in love with the movie.
Yeah.
The only thing, I'll just get out of the way right off the bat, is the last 10 seconds of the movie, if they didn't happen, would make everything better.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie, and spoilers from here on out, they're setting up where the AI headset is almost a red herring, and it's actually her agoraphobia that's causing all her issues.
Mm-hmm.
She's not realizing all these things that are happening, and she's not making the connections, that she's, losing time and all this stuff. And the AI is enabling that, but it's really her. But then right at the very, very end, you find out this weird ghost thing that she'd be seeing, which is her mom, is actually real, and it kills the police. And it's it undoes the whole movie.
Yeah.
It ruins everything.
Yeah, it was that was immediately what I said. It was the whole thing up to the last 5 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. And it's the very last few seconds. Even if you cut to black after they grab her and push her to the ground, that's fine. End right there. That's perfect. That is a good end. I don't need the little ghost reveal at the very, very last couple seconds.
Yeah. It made no sense for the story that they were building the entire time. And it was so good.
It was. Everything else in the movie up to that point is just... I can't believe this is an indie film. We've worked on indie films.
Right.
I've been in indie features. I've starred in indie features. I know what it's like on a set and what you usually expect out of just an indie production, as far as budget and quality and everything. And this is so much better than, I don't want to speak ill of the projects I've been on. You've been part of half of them. Mm-hmm. But, this is just leagues ahead of what I'm seeing in the indie space otherwise.
It was so well done. Cinematography wise, it was gorgeous.
Every angle and every shot was so well planned.
It was very dark, tone overall and literally lighting, which I didn't have a problem with. I think maybe it could have used a little bit more contrast in some of the scenes, when she was walking through her room, when you could tell, they set up the passage of time. She would walk through her apartment, seeing it as she remembers it, walking into the bathroom, then walking back out and seeing how disheveled it now is.
Oh, yeah.
That passage of time where it's they must have really spent a lot of had a ton of people changing things as she walked through.
Yeah, that shot at the end, the one you're talking about, where it's all a oneer, and it is. You walk through the apartment, and she's still in the headspace, and then it never breaks, and then you come out and you see everything's a mess, and it's so grimy and dingy, and just she hadn't realized the whole time the passage of time and how bad everything's getting.
It must have that must have been a huge task.
Yeah,
and for an indie of this level, you can tell that they had a decent sized budget because they had production design was amazing.
Yeah,
cinematography was amazing. It was well written.
Absolutely.
Maybe they filmed on some practical sets, but you can pretty much tell that they filmed this in the soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
I would be really surprised if they shot this practically inside of an actual apartment building. But maybe her apartment was on a soundstage and the rest of it was a practical building because she was running through the halls and stuff. But they spent the money where it needed to go to set the mood for that whole film, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah,
absolutely stunning. Just the small subtle things, we were picking up the video game stuff, the video game references.
Yeah.
And it's loaded with that, which if you do like games,
it's perfect.
Yeah, if you do like games, you see that and you see the nod to it and that they took the care with it. But the stuff the soundproof padding on the walls and the lights or the lack thereof, honestly.
Yeah.
The fact that she's kind of living in a hovel, but the little pops of light and color that they did, in the bathroom, there was always a little bit of light spilling through those windows. And
you always got the one beam of light in the window behind her.
Yep, and showing the passage of time and everything when they would it was so well done. It was so well done. Easily one of the best indie films that I've seen
Yeah.
The cinematography, I loved it. The mood. It
Mm-hmm.
sets that kind of like sci-fi future that's not so far in the future. Like it feels like within the next 10 years, something like that.
Yeah, everything here was super feasible. Like, we do have VR, so we understand the concept, and like we even have neural interface machines already. Like, not this advanced, but they do exist. So none of this is far-fetched.
Yep.
Like, it's all. I think that's what makes for good sci-fi, at least for me, because I'm not the biggest sci-fi person. But on the ones I do engage in, that's what draws me in, is ones that are conceivable and like not too far off from what we already have. So like the technology makes sense to me because we basically have it.
Yeah.
So,
and we were watching other films that showed like sci-fi tech, but it was not done well. And this was done well. Like it felt like she was actually doing the things that she was doing.
absolutely.
Like when she was typing and stuff, that felt like it was real. Her computer setup
it was a totally
felt
normal
very
and
real
believable setup.
Yeah, like even like almost 90% of movies don't use like Windows or Mac as the actual like interface, and they find the ugliest like Linux version that they can with like and no, her setup looked very realistic. Like they always had like web pages on the screens and stuff like that, things going on, banner advertisements, things that she was scrolling through. It felt very grounded and realistic.
Yeah,
and even the sci-fi interface with the swirling neural pattern thing like that, it felt like the old Xbox startup logo, the 360 startup logo. So like, you know, a company that they I could see where they kind of got like an Apple influence with it, with like the unboxing and like the way it looks and everything. And it's very simple, like the thing that she puts on her head, and it just has a light. And like it felt all of that felt realistic, felt exactly like a company would do. And if you're setting up some cool, weird, futuristic thing, like I could see the interface being, you know, with like all the swirling green stuff and everything like that. And they explained it too, what it was.
Yeah.
Which made sense.
I like too how the explanation, like you said, they explain it, but they don't overdo it. Like they never overstay their welcome. They just, as she's setting it up, it's talking, like, it's giving its own introductory spiel, which is not uncommon for tech. Like, they have that tutorial, the startup screen, whatever, and it's just saying, like, oh, I'm a neural interface, I do this. And it's enough for the audience to understand how it works and what it does, but they don't dwell, they don't try too hard to explain it or make it make sense in the world. It's just, this is what this is, and you're expected to accept it. And you do, because they don't make it weird. Yeah. Just like her agoraphobia. They don't go out of their way to explain, like, oh, I've been inside my whole life, and I'm scared to go outside and all of this. They just, you can tell through her actions and how she reacts to the delivery person, like, oh, okay, she's agoraphobic, she doesn't leave the house, I get it. Right. And that's it.
She's got 20 locks on her doors.
On it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it felt, everything was so well done. Like, it was really surprising. That, I think it's got to be, like, top 10 indie films I've seen. Yeah. Like, it didn't do too much. It didn't need to do too much. It was one of those things where it was one room for most of the film. Yeah, pretty much. And it was done really well. And they put the time and the energy and the detail into all of that stuff. And you could feel it. You could tell that they really nailed it. Like they did such a good job with it. Like, yeah, I will say, like, going in, like, you know, when you're in the streaming services, they give you, like, the reviews and everything. This is, like, so poorly rated. I have no idea why. This has, like, a 20% on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. I don't that makes no sense to me. This is incredible. Like, unless they're rating the ending only, like, I don't know how you give this a 20%. No, like, it definitely deserved a better ending. Yes. But like I said, I mean, if you cut out the last 5 seconds, like just the bit of her going down the hallway, everything else is perfect. Yeah, the whole thing was enjoyable. I love how they were playing with time and her psychosis, and she was kind of mentally breaking down. Like I think maybe they overused the CG ghost a little bit. Like, it did. Like, there were subtle spots. It started out super subtle. There was actually one the first time, I guess would be the first time, where the ghost pops up. I didn't think, like, I saw it, but I didn't think that I saw what I saw. And they almost, they must have known that people were going to be like taking a double take at it, because she turns in her chair, and when she turns back, she turns again, and then the corner of her chair takes kind of that same similar shape in the spot where that the ghost appeared, and I was like, oh, maybe there really wasn't something there. That was the first time that I think it appeared, and it was super subtle, and I think that would have been cool to keep the cat in the bag until like everything broke loose, but they popped it in quite a bit, and I don't think maybe it needed that much.
Yeah.
The girl, on the other hand, because they kept her on the other side of the door talking to her. I mean, I kind of
it was perfect with her, like, because you finally get the reveal right as she's really breaking.
Right, and I suspected that there was something up with that girl too, because they do set up for the fact that nobody else sees her, nobody else.
Yeah, no one else reacts to her or sees her.
And I think that's fine if even where they set it up in the movie, because it was kind of toward the middle. It wasn't really, but they didn't make a big deal about it.
Yeah, I have to say too, those scenes with the girl, just from like a movie watching standpoint, this is not filmmaking Dean. This is cinephile Dean. Absolutely heartbreaking in the best way. Like the scenes, like. Because you can tell, this movie, they establish she's agoraphobic and she doesn't get out, she doesn't really talk to people. She has her one friend, but even then, only she sees when Jen is free. So, like, when she talks to this girl, she instantly gets excited, and she's like, oh, let me lend you this game. Like, she wants the one thing that's important to her, she wants to share with this other person.
Yeah.
And she wants to feel that connection.
Yep.
And every time she tries, the girl's not there.
Yep.
And it's just, you're watching her fail to make this one connection, and it just... It's so effective. Like, it's almost like a gut punch while you're watching this. And I just love that they have just that extra tinge of emotion on top of everything else. Like, it just adds a little more gravitas to something that already sets the tone super well. Yeah.
It was... the little subplots that they put in there, like she's late for her rent, was a good... it was a good, like, side thing that kept on happening. Because it gives her a reason to focus on not going out the door and not letting anybody in. But also gives you a little bit more of the passage of time. Like, she comes to the door and she's like, I thought that was yesterday. Yeah. And it had been a lot longer.
And the guy doesn't flat out say, no, it was a week ago.
Right.
Like, he doesn't have to respond. Because as the audience, you're smart enough to understand, like, oh, just her saying that lets me know that she's perceiving it wrong and that more time has passed than she thinks.
Right. And it supports everything that you've seen that she's ignored, too. Because you're, as the audience, you see a little bit more of, like, that, like, the little indicators that she's been there way longer than she suspects that she is.
Her wound's getting significantly worse.
Yep, exactly. So, like, there's a lot of hints that she's been in it for weeks. She's been in this process for weeks. And then they show and confirm it, like, 100%.
Yeah,
like,
once she eats the food and it turns out it's rotten.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Like, they built it up with the subtlety, and then they're like, obviously.
Yes. So, but at that point, you're watching her break down, so it should be in your face.
And you already know for a fact. Like, they've given you enough to be able to put it together, rather than... I hate when a story will just go and they just, like, take you by the hand and be like, see all of the indicators?
The step.
Yeah, see all of the things? See that over there? That means, like...
And I love, too, this one, because on that note, a lot of movies, they'll follow that through, and then even at the end, they're holding your hand and showing you the callbacks.
Right.
They're like, see, now that you're here, this is why we did that. See, that's what that meant.
Yeah.
And, like, here, they didn't do that. They didn't explain the metaphors. They didn't force the, like, callbacks on you.
Yeah.
If there was subtle stuff you missed, they didn't give you flashbacks. They just assumed you saw enough to pick it up.
Yep.
Like, and they never force anything on the audience. They let you figure it out on your own.
Yeah, and they did a good job at doing when they did they're not really flashbacks, but they're like her picking the shuffled time stuff. Yeah. It was different every time. It wasn't like... It really wasn't even to inform the audience. Like, it was showing her things in, like, little bits. Like, you could tell that she murdered her friend, but also she wasn't seeing those things until she had the complete breakdown at the end.
Yeah.
And then, like, that... I think they did enough of that like, chaotic shuffling to keep it feeling like it was accelerating and getting worse. Because you could overdo it. Like, if you do it too subtly... And then you're like, okay, well, is the audience getting it? Let's do more of it.
And if not, it comes out of nowhere. You're
right.
Like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, so I think that they definitely stuck to a good pace with the back and forth. Because she hops in and out of, I guess, the reality like, and her time is all shuffled, like multiple times, and it seems really cool. Even times where where they were just having her just sit there staring off into space with like the light sweeping past her, like the daylight sweeping past her, like those type of things. Like those feel montagey in most movies, but it felt like that was like an occurrence, like it was part of the flashback, not just like here's the passage of time, like Bella staring out the window in Twilight, where they keep on showing the seasons change and stuff. That was a montage. That was not like part of a series of things that support everything else.
Yeah, this felt more like a natural, not even a transition. Like it felt like the event.
Yeah, it felt chaotic on purpose, and it was really, really well executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just like the story that was excellent here too, like the visuals and the special effects too. Like you mentioned earlier, you know, it probably wasn't done on a huge budget, but they definitely had a budget because the CG in this they don't use all the time, but when they do, it's just wonderfully done.
Yeah,
like the floating block part where everything's kind of going Tetris-y.
Yeah,
was just it looked great. Like all the tiles popping out and like. You know, they have obvious lines where you cut on the grout or on the pattern of the tile. Like, I get how it's done.
But it looked
it
was
excellent.
so well done.
They put shadow under, like, behind the blocks. Like, it just... They did a really good job and made use of the CG to really build the scene.
Yeah.
And, like, at the beginning, you know, they cold open on the alien thing to just give you action up front to get you in the vibe. And it just... It looked really good. Like, it didn't look hokey.
Yeah, it looked a little video gamey, but in like the really high end video gaming graphics. But it also that's what it's supposed to be.
That's the thing. It is a video
It's supposed
game,
to be.
So
it's supposed to be that, so it fit. And as soon as the monster came in, I was like, oh, this is a video game. And like I made the connection. Didn't make it any less enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then even later on, but the special effects that they used. I mean, maybe minus the mother ghost at the end, like a few of those. Because I think they just overused it. If they kept her in the shadows and popped her in maybe about
if she was more subtle, it would have been better.
Yeah, a third of the number of times they used it, I think it would have been more effective. But those ones had a different realism compared to the monsters that she was fighting. So I think it was they purposely made the monsters not look as real as
they made them look the way they did to fit what they are.
Right.
I do love, though, the second time you see the monsters, when she's having, like, a breakdown at that point. Like, she thinks she's leaving the apartment, but she didn't leave the apartment. It's all in her head.
Yeah.
And as the monsters are chasing her, just the environment interactions. Like, when it bursts the door open, and you see the rubble and the part of the rug torn up a little, and, like, the dust and everything. And then as they come around the corners and put their claws out, you see little scratch marks in the cement on the wall. Like, it's just tiny little touches that most people would never notice. Like, that's money spent on a minute detail that in the end doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it adds so much extra. It's so good.
It really does. It also made it feel different than the first time you see that.
Yes.
Because it feels... Like when it opens up, she's got the gun and she's popping them off and everything like that, and
they're not interacting with the environment at that point.
Right, they're video game characters that are it's like augmented reality in her apartment.
Yeah,
and she takes the glasses off and you can see it's still her apartment, but all of the creatures are gone because you can only see them with the glasses. This time, it felt like yes, they still looked the same, but the interactions with the environment, with the particles and moving stuff and things tipping over and the breaking of the door and stuff like that, they made that look very realistic. It didn't look CG at all, but the creatures still looked the same, which I thought was really cool. It makes sense, and it probably was maybe when they come back, maybe they should look more realistic and look more gooey or something like that. But
yeah, I think they made the right call. I think it worked. And then, like you mentioned, the ghost mom, she didn't need to appear as much as she did, but there were still some amazing shots some of the times. Like, one of the earlier times you see her where she's coming in, and then as she disappears back out of frame before the character looks, and as her arm leaves the light beam, there's just a little wisp trail of smoke where her arm was.
Yeah.
And it's just a really cool little effect, and it just makes for an awesome visual.
Yeah.
And like it's just the little stuff like that they keep doing throughout the movie, and it really sets it apart. Like it's so good.
Yeah, and also like I think there's like I at least try and do this in my films, like callbacks that are subtle and it can be as subtle as a color that was referenced before, or like a song. Like the soundtrack was amazing because they kept on calling back.
You mentioned it. It's my favorite thing in the movie.
Yeah.
Is the Tetris theme. It's an overarching theme. Is that when she was a kid, Tetris was like her comfort thing. You find out right at the end that when her mom died, she was still in her mother's arms while her mother was dead, and she was playing Tetris on her Game Boy, blocking out the death of her mom and all the terrible stuff around her. So that was always her escape.
That was her security.
And so as the movie goes on, they reuse that Tetris theme multiple times. And even when they're not flat out playing it, some of the other songs in the score have those chords, like the same progression. Mm-hmm. So you still get like the hint of that song, and it just... Yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorite parts of the movie. The score is incredible.
I love me a good leitmotif, like where they use that callback in subtlety with like the same type of music throughout the film.
Yeah.
Like Silent Hill does that. Like they always have that similar sound with like the soundtrack, even in different tracks.
Sweeney Todd is an excellent example too.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever seen the Tim Burton Sweeney Todd, the way they did the music for that, I can't get into super detail, but someone did a breakdown one time in like an hour and a half long deep dive on YouTube where they show that every single song in the movie is following the same motif to like get certain emotions at certain times, and it like you could almost not even watch the movie, and just by listening to the score and the songs, you would still get all the emotions and all the story points because of how it's expressing them musically.
Yeah,
and like,
music is super important.
Yeah, and I feel like this movie kind of nailed that too. Like, someone involved went to music school. Like, there was some music theory at work here, because they were just really on their game for score.
And it, like, oh man, even wardrobe was top tier. Like, like I was saying, callbacks and stuff. Like when she ran after, or when she was running away from the monsters, ran up on the roof into the rain. She was wearing all yellow. She had the yellow sneakers.
Hoodie and the Vans.
Yeah, the yellow sneakers that her friend got her, and then the yellow hoodie that is a callback to when she was wearing the yellow rain jacket.
Yeah,
in the rain with her dad and everything.
Yeah.
And that gave it was sad because it was like, okay, she was experiencing like this like relief almost of like she's in reality. Like it was scary the whole way there. And then it almost led up just a little bit, making you think that maybe the monsters are gone. She was still running from them. She got to the roof, and then the rain came in.
But for a second, they weren't there, and she just got to be in that moment for a minute.
And it was a good callback. I turned to him, and I was like, oh, I see what they did there. She's wearing all yellow. I was like, okay, that's literally the flashback that she was having of her, one of the and they showed it in the photo, too, the interaction with her dad. And she's in a little raincoat. I was like, that's so nice. Like they did a lot of that, like very well thought out.
It's funny too because like she never talks about her interaction with her dad.
No,
ever. They never bring him up. But you clearly understand just from the flashbacks and her reaction to looking at those photos, and like the one moment where she sees the photo and she's like, "Hi, Dad." Like you can tell. That was the positive parent. That was the good memories. That was the happy part of her childhood. Right. And then clearly, I don't know if he died or divorced or what the issue was.
It looked like he was wearing camo when he was crouched down and he was doing like, I said she was getting trained to fight off Pennywise.
But like,
but I think he was wearing.
He disappears from her life and she goes to her mother and clearly that's where things went wrong. But like, that's her one happy memory. And they never had to explain that. She never had to tell you her relationship with her dad. Jen never had to bring it up. Like, it was just, you understood. So then, when you get the callback at the end, like, you inherently know, like, oh, that was the one happy time of her life, and now she has this happy thing again.
Yep.
Like, they really, it wasn't just the callback, it's that they communicated so much silently.
Yeah.
Like, they so perfectly did the show don't tell in this film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it blew my mind how well executed everything was. Just all around everything. The set design, the acting was great. The music, the soundtrack was really good. All of the elements that they put in there, like the little nods to gaming and pop culture, Like everything was done so well.
Yeah.
It really was.
I love it. They had a brief wire stunt too, where they just lifted her off the ground. It's just a harness pull. It's super easy and basic, honestly, but like it was so effective, and it came out of nowhere. Like at no point was there any real stunts.
If they didn't put that in the movie, you never would have missed it. But the fact that they put it in there and it was used for just
a quick scene.
Yeah, it wasn't overused.
And they even had like camera shake and distortion while they were doing it. So it was barely even the focus of the scene.
Yep.
But it's just one extra thing that they worked in, and it looked really cool. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, all the props to these filmmakers, seriously. Like, they went above and beyond. Like, this 100% had to be either a passion project or someone had something to prove. I
don't know. So this is going to be, this is a movie that, like, after we're done talking about it and I got some time, I'm going to Google the hell out of this and see if I can't get some backstory. Yeah. Just like the producers, the writers, and like the filmmakers in general. I want to know like what other projects they've done and if they've flown off the radar. And then maybe
I'd be curious to see if you could find the production costs on this too.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
You've been on some major features that have had like actual budgets and gotten distribution.
Yeah,
so like I'd be curious to see how this stacks up in cost.
Right, I would say with what they did, like I mean, we've done some scrappy stuff, but in probably a lower bracket. This is, you could probably get it done for like $500,000, somewhere in there maybe, if you had like a scrappy team that was pulling, all-nighters and some and wearing multiple hats and stuff like that.
That or just a really long post-production window.
Yeah. But man, so well done.
Yeah.
Like it surprises me that there are films that are just floating out there that are, that nobody
this good
about.
That no one.
I never knew about it. You almost didn't know about it.
No, I found it on accident. Honestly, I think what happens, because I do this, I was most likely looking for a Tetris remix. Because there is an old one I found a long time ago that's one of my favorite things ever, and the guy that did it just dropped off the face of the earth. The website he posted on is defunct now, and that there's no like forum to find that old user. So I was probably looking up remixes to just try for the umpteenth time in my life to track down the guy that did that remix.
Yeah.
And most likely YouTube recommended this trailer because of that remix.
Yep.
And then I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, a horror movie and Tetris. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And then, when I finally watched it, I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better than it has any right being.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I very, very interested. I'm gonna do some digging. I want to know, like, maybe they, like, I wish, like, I could do more of them myself, but I love behind the scenes videos. Yeah. Especially on indie films, because
we really do need like a dedicated BTS crew.
Yeah,
not just one person. We need like 2 or 3 people, not just to document.
Yeah, we need a photographer. We need a photographer. We need somebody to supervise it, and like a cinematographer or somebody to do video.
Almost to direct the BTS.
Oh yeah, because
be like, hey, this is an important thing. Make sure you capture that.
Right. Not only just capturing what's going on, but also setting up vignettes and interviews and that kind of stuff. Because that's like I think really interesting. It's interesting to just watch and be a fly on the wall, but it's also really interesting to get like people's perspectives. What are they bringing to it? What do they do? Yeah. What are the films that they worked on? Like finding out about the cast and crew and giving them a way to like kind of brag about how good they are, because if you're working on the set, you want to be proud of what it is that you do.
If you're making something as good as this film we just watched, like
right,
that's something where I would love to hear from the whole cast and crew. Like all of you are clearly at the top of your game. What else have you done? Because I probably want to see that too.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole too. Like production designer, whoever the production designer, set builder, contractor for that whole like chef's kiss. Like that was
honestly the director too, because this is the most perfectly executed vision aside from those last 5 seconds.
Yeah, directing was like so. I don't know what if these actors have been in anything else.
No idea.
But they were incredibly natural. Like
every lead, conversation was believable.
The lead was really, really good. Like there was a lot of emotions that she had to be able to. She had a huge range, and her friend was the most believable friend.
Yes,
and she just pops in. Like they don't do much of a lead up to her coming in. She just knocks on the door, comes in, and then just makes herself at home.
Yeah.
Like, you believably look at her and go, oh, she's been over a lot, and she's also kind of taking care of her. Like,
you get the dynamic immediately.
Yeah, and she's the peppy one. She's really nice. She's very affectionate with her friend. And
even
understanding.
though she's the extrovert with the introvert friend, like she's still like, hey, when you're ready, I'd love to take you out and we'll buy you a new hoodie or like whatever. Like she's joking with her, but at the same time, she's trying to offer help without being pushy.
Yeah. And also giving a little bit of a hint that maybe you should try a little harder.
Yeah.
Like you felt the friendship. Like it felt really believable.
It did. If you told me they were best friends in real life, 100% believe it because their chemistry was incredible.
Yep. And then the callbacks to the other characters, like her boss, she only talked to him once. He never comes back up. And then the ghost girl, the mother, and then the landlord. It would have been really easy to play him as a complete asshole, just like, come on, we're supposed to come into rent. But he knocks on the door, and he's like, you're late on your rent. And she's like, you'll get it next week. And he's just like, yeah, you tell me that all the time. Like, he felt like a real person on the other side of the door that you never see. Mm-hmm. You just hear the interaction.
The amount of character they establish through the door.
Yeah.
The delivery guy, who's just an annoyed guy trying to do his job.
Yep.
Just wants to make this delivery, and you get the frustration, but he's still doing the job because he has to.
Right.
And, like, even that is the most benign interaction that does not matter to the story at all.
Right.
But they still play it out, and it's still well acted and believable. Like, I believe him as, this is a guy who, he hates this annoyance he has to deal with because this random, retarded girl, I know that's not a word you could say, but that's how he would say it in this situation. Mm-hmm. But, like, the interaction with her is annoying and an inconvenience, but he has to do this job because that's how he's getting paid. So he's just like, oh, fine, I'm over here, but hurry up. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so believable and it's so well executed for a throwaway role.
Right. It was very natural. Like, there's a lot of times where you can overwrite or over-explain, over-indulge in, like, a character to make them not realistic.
Yeah.
They give too much, they overact.
Yeah, they become caricatures at that point.
Yeah, and this was not that at all. Like, there were a couple moments, like, in any film where you're just like, the interaction didn't feel quite right. It felt a little forced or anything like that. But, like, if you really gotta squint and nitpick to get anything out of that.
I mean, dialogue is a big thing for me. I wrote a short film that I'm going to direct just because I wanted to have a film where people talk like people talk.
Right.
So I always notice when dialogue is really forced or really awkward, and this felt like very natural. Like almost every interaction is just, that's how they would talk. That's how they'd react to what they heard or what they saw. Like, this all felt right. There was nothing where I'm like, oh, no, a girl of that age or with those interests would never say that. Like, it all felt good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got very, very few nitpicky things. Yeah. Like, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I have to say, too, you mentioned the acting, and the one thing that really got me, again, is the nonverbal acting of the lead. Mm-hmm. Because, like, she has this anxiety and this agoraphobia, and, like, it's clearly a major factor in her life. Like, it overshadows all her decisions and everything she does. And so, like, even in her mental state when it's not real, when she thinks she's out in the hallway, like in that dream state there, she's still, like, she's got her hands like this, and she's not, like, eyes up, like, chin up, like, she's still, like, very nervous and anxious stance. She's still hands at her side, like, it's just, it has, like, that, I'm having a mental health crisis, I'm not comfortable, this is not what I want. Like, it just, she portrayed it so well and so believably. Yeah. And that was in a flashback. Like, the character's not even experiencing that, but it's still how the character would carry themselves. Mm-hmm. And so it's just so perfectly acted. It's just very well done. Yeah.
I really liked it. It was, definitely top 10 of indie films that I've ever seen. Surprisingly out of nowhere.
I will say, overall, I want to give it a 9, because it really is that good. The problem is those last 5 seconds. Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8 because of the ending. Honestly, what you do, if you find this video, if you pirate a copy, which don't pirate things, it's bad, obviously. I don't condone that. You shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. But if you were to do that, go into the ending, without watching the movie yet, go to the last, 20 seconds before the credits, Once you see the girl hit the floor with the cops on top of her, cut it, and then you take your snipping tool, go to the start of the credits, cut again, delete the part in the middle, and then watch the film. Because that will be the perfect film.
Yeah.
Like, the movie up to that point is perfect, and then if it just cuts to black right when they slam her to the floor, that's it. That's your ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's over now. It's everything that happened has been resolved. She's being taken in, whether it's for custody or mental health help or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Everything is now resolved. It's done. And that's the movie.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you do that and you end it there, easily a 9 out of 10.
Yep. It did not need the last 10 seconds.
But, yeah, just that last little bit in the hallway there was awful, and I have to take a point off of it because it's stupid and it undoes a lot of the movie.
I would absolutely give it an 8 out of 10, though.
Yeah.
8.5.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it that much. Like, this is... I'm going to probably rewatch this 5-6 times.
Yeah.
Analyze the hell out of it. I can enjoy
absolutely.
it. So I like to do this, too, with films that I really enjoy, like, for all the technical reasons and just enjoyment, too, is I'll analyze the hell out of it. And I will, I'll use it as a tool to learn everything that I can from it.
So, yeah, this is one of those films where you take stuff away from. You're like,
yep,
I could do a shot like that, or I never thought about doing this, but this would work really well in this instance. Like, yeah there's stuff to learn from this movie.
And it's it's really easy to be like, oh well, you want to copy this movie, and it's like, well, literally every movie copies every other movie. Like, there's a ton of shots in this that are inspired by other films
which were also inspired by other films.
Right, like, exactly. But
no
the
one's
idea
doing anything original.
But the idea to analyze it and then pull like mainly story. Because I love the way they arrange the story. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Except for that last 5 seconds. Makes no sense whatsoever. But no, story-wise, everything felt natural.
Perfect pacing. Like, really, they could not have changed anything to improve the story.
Yeah, I would watch this and I would be like, I don't know what the development process in post-production was like. I don't know if this went through a bunch of different revisions and then other people got say in how the story was going to go. I'm hoping it wasn't a situation where, like, whoever was funding it or something like that was like, I got to put my stamp on this somehow. Let's ruin the last 5 seconds of this movie. And, it almost feels like that's a... I don't want to nitpick it, but, like, man, that's...
Yeah, someone made a last minute call. And it's not the right call.
Somebody made a call, and that was the wrong call.
Honestly, this is one of those films. I would love to see if I could track down the director and just talk to them and be like, hey, I want to know more about this film. I want to know how a lot of this came to be. I want to know, like, what was the writing process and what was getting that written screenplay onto the film. Like, I want to know the whole story because this is so good. And I also really want to know what the hell happened with those last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna try and track down as much info off of this film as I can, because that made it. So it really shows you, like, when you're making a film, it does not need $1 billion budget. It doesn't need to be the next Marvel movie. Like, we've watched dozens of other movies that had probably budgets 80 times bigger.
Oh yes.
And
bigger budgets, bigger distribution, bigger publishing houses, way more resources as far as studios and space and everything.
The indie films always have something that the bigger ones lack. It's almost like going to a franchise restaurant versus a mom and pop restaurant, where, like, you go to an Italian restaurant and you're like, oh, Olive Garden. It's like, no, I want to go to Mama C's Kitchen. Where the guy that's taking the orders is wearing a stained white wife beater tank top, taking the orders and screaming them to the person in the back. That's the place that I want to go to for authenticity. And it feels like indie films have an authenticity that, like, these studio films sanitize the hell out of. Like, they want to make, like, the number of times that things have suffered in the, like, bigger films because of rating. They're like, we want to be able to release around holidays, and we want the kids to be in the theater in a PG-13.
So we have to cut this.
We have to make it PG-13. We can't make it rated R because that will exclude us from it. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't have any ratings and you're doing it and you throw those rules out the window, like, you can make what you want to make.
Yeah.
And then
what I heard from all that is that next time I AD, you want me to be wearing a stained wife beater and yelling at people. So just remember that next time we're on set together.
Wear a hairnet and have a fork over your ear?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, that works. Gold chain, too. That helps.
I mean, I never don't have the chain.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, overall, this, honestly, I don't know if, like, this year for my lineup here, I picked the best of the best. Like, these are all movies I've watched and loved, and I know were good. You know, I did, like, the Smile movies, and Megan, and A Quiet Place, and, like, all these great films. By the way, we filmed a movie where A Quiet Place 2 was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about indie versus Hollywood, we did really cool stuff in that space that they did not do in A Quiet Place.
No, but we stole some of their props, though.
We did, and that was kind of cool.
We stole their props that they left at the studio, which was kind of neat.
But, yeah, like, I don't know, of all the things I'm going to watch this year, if I have to recommend one, like, I know I said this in Mama, that's the one you should watch, but honestly, Latency is really one people need to be aware of. Like, if you still watch Mama, because it's still Toro and he's amazing, but if you want to support indie at all, and you should, because that's the future of filmmaking, watch this movie. And then don't just watch it. Go online and review it. Like, talk about it. Get other people to watch it. Say how much you liked it. You know, get on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, whatever. Like, tell them, hey, this is great. Here's all the stuff that I enjoyed. Like, let folks know. Not just because those filmmakers, like, it does help. Filmmakers see that. On our feature, one person reviewed and rated it on IMDb. We saw that review, and everyone involved has read it multiple times and talked about it, analyzed it, and thought like, oh yeah, I see what he's saying, and oh, I caught that one issue too while we were working on it. I know that was a problem.
Yeah.
Like, it means a lot to the filmmakers, but also it means a lot to other viewers, because you see that and then you know, oh, okay, someone else saw this and they cared enough to write about it, I should watch. Maybe they're right, or maybe they're wrong, and I'm going to tell them.
I really do appreciate the depth that they went into. It wasn't, oh, this film sucked, and then what? It's just spamming that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, they told us, like, hey, here's everything that works, here's everything that didn't, and that's great. Like, we'll take the criticism. All filmmakers will. Like, everyone I've met, I can't speak for everyone, but everyone I've met that works in film, no matter who it is or how big their ego is, they want that feedback. Like, if you know of a way to improve their movie, and you can tell them, hey, I liked your film, but this didn't work. Maybe if you tweaked it to do X, it would work better. Like, they want that feedback because they want to make better films. Like, no one's making films to suck. Right. Everyone wants to be Latency. Like, when you make an indie film, you hope it's going to be that good.
Yeah.
So
that's they set a nice high bar for any of the other,
for all of us. Yeah.
Any of the other indie features that I'm going to watch and or make. So it's
that's the level you have to be at now with your next film. So good luck.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I wish. See, the thing that a lot of people don't maybe realize when they think of indie films too is that like me as a filmmaker, I get hired to shoot a film that somebody else wrote, that somebody else conceptualized, somebody else is funding.
Someone else is directing in some instances.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really hard to put a lot of influence in it to make it better than it could be, or have any really creative control over it. Sometimes you just have to make the film that somebody else wants. Yeah. And it's not me. Like, I've shot several features where it's like, I wouldn't have done it that way. But my job is to film it. I got hired on to do that job. I film it the way they want it. I edit it the way they want it. You know, I'm currently in the process of doing a few films in post-production right now. And there's a little back and forth when I'm editing something, and it's either the director, executive producers, the writers, they get a little bit of say in what goes on, and sometimes you just get shot down. You're just like, I would like it to be this way, and they're just like, no, I do not want it that way. And you just have to concede, and you just be like, okay, I got it, I change it, I make it different than what I would have done as an editor or a director, or if I would have wrote it, and you know, you just kind of have to live with it. So it isn't always the outcome for every film that somebody's involved in. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of there's a hierarchy to things, and there's just a bit of freedom when it's a self-funded project. Like if I was going to make a project and I wrote it and I'm directing it, or if I'm shooting it and I'm working with a director that I know that I can work with, it's a completely different story because you're involved in the whole process from start to finish. You can be like, that's a weak plot point, I wouldn't do that, and let's consider something else. But if you weren't there when they wrote it and you just get handed a script and paid a job to make the film that they wrote, sometimes you're stuck with things that you wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And then you just have to live with it. But
that's another reason I would love. I am going to look now. Like, now I'm down this rabbit hole. I'm going to try and find the director of this film. Because I would love to sit down and ask, too, like, how collaborative was this? Because I feel like this is one, it couldn't have just been one person.
No.
Because too much was too good. Like, I don't think one person could get the soundtrack and the score that on point, and also get the acting to be perfect, and also get the VFX to be perfect, and also nail the pacing. Like, everything was right. And I feel like that has to be multiple people with a lot of talent. Like, that can't just be one person.
Yeah, that was... They had all of the right people in all the right places. Like, in the indie world, sometimes you have to scrape to get certain people, or you have to do multiple jobs and you can't fill departments like you want to. Sometimes it's one makeup person doing the effects for 6 actors, and they're working their ass off, but they do their best, and sometimes it's not the best because you're like, okay, we've got 3 hours to finish the scene. They need to be done. Looks good enough. Get them out there on camera. And
I mean, we've been there. Sometimes it is what it is. If you don't have the time, you don't have the resources, you have to make the tough calls.
Yeah, and you can see when things come together the right way, because that was amazing writing, amazing acting, amazing set design, amazing special effects, amazing cinematography, amazing music. Like, they got their A team together and they made it, and like it definitely paid off. There were enough people to make it happen, and like it didn't. I don't think it suffered in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can watch some indie features and be like, the sound isn't great, or the VFX aren't good, or like the lighting is kind of subpar, or they didn't have a lot of locations. The set design doesn't look great. This didn't feel like it suffered in any way. Like, it felt like it had...
No one compromised on anything.
No, it felt like they turned it up to 11 in every department. Like, props to them. It was amazing.
Yeah, I will say, if it's happened a few times where the director of a film has seen my review. I don't know how. No one watches this channel. But if you're out there... And
hello, viewer!
Yeah, if you're the director of this movie, of Latency, like, seriously... You did amazing. It is incredible what you got done with this picture. Like, I've not, like you said, I can't think of a better indie feature that I've seen offhand.
No.
Including ones I've been in that I'm biased towards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is still probably the best, if not absolutely one of the best indie films I've ever seen. It's just, it's that good. Everyone should be watching this.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
You should abort whatever you're doing right now. Like,
turn the video off. Go watch Latency.
Yeah, if you're watching this while you're driving your kids to school, they don't need to go to school today. Just come back.
Let them watch it too with you.
Mm-hmm. Just shut the stove off. Don't finish dinner. You don't need to eat. Just watch this thing. It is amazing. I definitely want to give everybody that worked on that thing props, because. Yeah, for working.
I want to work with them.
Working and doing this kind of stuff, the how intense it can get, and how how much work it is, and they work their ass off, and it shows. That's for damn sure.
So I think that's where we're gonna end. The movie's incredible. Cannot recommend it enough. And if you're one of the people that worked on it, A, I would love to interview you and just learn more about the process, and B, please let me work with you, because y'all do the most amazing job.
Same. I want to shoot something.
Yeah, right? But I think that's all we have. So stay tuned. There's more movies this month. And see you next time.